Hi there, welcome back to Pierpoint Custom Rod Building and Repair. I've now stripped down my rod, so I've got my butt section and my tip section, and now I'm going to go through the process of just reglazing that with Bondaseal. Now before we start, a couple of safety things. Make sure you've got some nitrile gloves. This stuff is evil, it's toxic and it's flammable. You don't want to get it on your hand. So a pair of gloves that you can obtain from any DIY store. Make sure that you use a mask. When you're applying that stuff, you need to be in a well ventilated room, and you need a mask like this to filter out any impurities. Now I'm going to be using two types of Bondaseal. The original red will go on the tip section, and then the blue, that's the new stuff, the Primax, will go on the butt section. I think a few rod builders have been having problems with that, so I just want to use both just to see what sort of issues they're having. You need a little bit of acetone, and I'll show you what you need that for. Now, cap wise, on here I've got plain caps just with a silver insert. Okay, now I use those because the tins need to be shaken. Left standing, this stuff can separate out and it will cause you problems, so give it a good shake. Okay, both tins, let it stand just to get rid of some of those air bubbles. Okay, just to give that a pretty good mix. And then I've got these caps. Now once I've done that process, I'll swap them over because these have got plastic inserts, and when you use these caps you get a much better airtight seal. So you can put these tins away for 6 to 9 months and it won't go off. Okay, so that's quite important. You need a bit of acetone because we're going to do some cleaning up work, some tissue, and you need your foil dish because you're going to pour that into there, and an applicator. I just use a foam brush. Okay, to get that onto the rod. Okay, now some people like to have coloured Bondaseal, so if it's black you can use a marbling pigment from Guides and Blanks. It's about £8, a little pot, and all you need is a couple of blobs of this in your Bondaseal, just enough to cover the bottom of the dish, about the size of a pea, and then mix that in. You won't change the colour of the blank, because if you put too much of this in, it stops becoming Bondaseal and it will dry with like an orange peel skin. If you want these a different colour and the glossy finish, you need to send them away. Okay, you're not going to change the colour just in a workshop applying a couple of drops of pigment. You'll get a slight change in colour, but you won't get the full colour. That's a professional job with a spray booth and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so we've shook these up. Now I'm going to get prepared, and I'll try and talk you through the camera. Once I put this on, you probably won't hear me too well, and then I'll show you how I coat these two sections of rod. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off, and then we're going to restart once I've got tooled up. Don't forget that you can access my YouTube channel, and you'll get loads of hints, tips, tools and techniques from there, and hopefully that'll contribute to your rod building journey. Thanks for watching. Okay, welcome back to Pierpoint. You're probably hearing a muffled sound because I've now got the face mask on. Okay, so the first thing you need to do, you've given it a shake, you've let it stand for a little bit. Now the acetone, you just need to clean out that lid. Okay, because you'll need that for next time. Okay, you pour a little bit of the Bondaseal into your foil dish. Okay, just enough to cover the bottom. Now what you must do, you must clean up the tin. Okay, using your acetone, because that's important, because once you put the lid back on, if you don't do this process, you won't get the lid off the jar. Okay, so clean that nozzle up and be careful the tissue doesn't fall into your Bondaseal mix. Now while that's sitting there, just allows the air bubbles to dissipate, and then you take one of these caps, as I said, with a plastic insert, and then you screw that back down. Okay, because you get a much better airtight seal and the lid won't stick to the jar. Okay, so we just move that out of the way. There's the acetone, just put those out of the way for now. Okay, so there's my mixture in there. You haven't got long because this stuff goes off quite quickly. Okay, so the rod is turning. Just enough to soak into the brush, and quite a liberal coat. But I say with this stuff you've got to be quick. Once you put it on, you won't have a lot of time to go back over it. Okay, just need to seal that end bit in there. Nice finish. Okay, obviously that's the spigot, so you don't want to come too far down. Okay. That's going on quite nice. Now I prefer to use this foam applicator because it just goes on better. You don't get the brush marks or the runs that you'd normally get with the brush. Okay, and just do that nice even brush strokes. Okay, that's all you're doing. Brush that out. Okay, and so you have to be very careful going back over the areas that you've just done, because this stuff goes off fairly quickly. It doesn't like too many sort of repeated strokes over it. Okay, and I also like to have the rod turning, so it just as well gives it a bit of self-leveling. Okay, now most of this down the bottom end of this butt section is going to be hidden with the shrink tube. Some people don't bother glazing this part of it, but I like to do the whole thing. Okay, it doesn't take too much effort. Okay, and then you just work your way down the rod. Patience is a virtue, as they say. You just want full coverage. You can put additional coats on, but you have to wait for it to dry in between coats. Maybe sand it down with a little bit of wet and dry, and then apply the next coat. It's a lot harder to put on the second coat. Okay, and that's all you do. And just the lightest touch possible. Put that out of the way, and then we're going to go straight in for the second one. Okay, so we've already given it a shake. Same thing. I'm going to pour that into there. Okay, this mixture looks just a little bit yellowy, I must say. Okay, probably not too much to worry about. So the same thing, there's the acetone. Just make sure you give this a wipe, especially inside, because when I put this cap back on, I don't want it to stick, because you'll have awful problems trying to get the damn thing off next time. Okay, so that's that. Let's get that done. Don't forget this cap has got the plastic insert, so that one goes on there. Okay, and then that will sit on the shelf almost forever and a day, and it won't go off. Okay, so you've got a bit of time. There's a bit of noise with this because this particular turner has got a motor. Okay, and that's quite handy because with it spinning a bit quicker, this allows you to get the Bondaseal on a bit quicker as well. Do those are white because I need those for next time. Never throw anything away, not in this workshop. Okay, let's get my brush. And let's see how we get on. So it's lethal stuff this. They'll be coming into view in a minute, so we're just starting at the spigot end of the tip. Now one thing I've noticed with this stuff is that it's not as thin as the stuff in the balloon tin. Okay, and like I say, the beauty of having the lights is that you can actually see the areas that you've gone over. It won't take long to dry. It'll be touch dry within about 5 to 10 minutes. And then you can see we're just putting that protective coat back on the bike. A bit rough. That is it. That's the Bondaseal done. Now all I'm going to do now is just go back to my tins and just make sure, okay, I normally do things in triplicate anyway, is just make sure that these caps are clean. Okay, because if they're not, when you come to get the lid off next time, you'll be in all sorts of problems. So I just like to check and double check that that's okay. Bit of acetone in there just to make sure that that is free running. Okay, just saves a lot of hassle for next time. Okay, that's all you do. Put that back on there, tighten that up. And then just do the same with the original one. It's probably okay, it's just me being a bit on the fussy side, but there's my acetone. Okay, so once we've finished with the Bondaseal, we've got the two coats on. So the rear one was the blue, the front one was the red, and that's all gone on quite nicely. So there's two nice coats there. We don't want to be going over it again. So what I like to do now is just put those to bed. So to keep the dust off, we put the dust covers on, and it also keeps the temperature at a nice constant temperature as well. Okay, so we cover those in. And then we just leave them for about 20-30 minutes. It'll be touch dry. Okay, so we just close that off. Okay, just seal it up. Keeps the insects off, so dust and insects. We just leave it exactly like that. Okay, constant temperature, keep the dust off, and there we go. Don't forget to log into my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and then you'll get the regular updates, and we'll show you plenty of other tips, tools and techniques in your rod building journey. So thanks for watching.